Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It's Friday live stream with Korn. We're talking Nikon things here, Nikon news specifically, because Nikon brought us some news, or newsies, whatever, goodies you call it. So how's the sound, first of all? Let me know in the comments in the live chat. Welcome everyone who, thank you everyone who joined the chat today. If it's your first time here, you can join the live chat, ask your technical questions. Hopefully Nikon relates in the chat by putting QQQ right at the front of it, so that just helps me to filter through the chat and answer your question. Hope everyone is okay. We got people here from all over the world. Hello, Rick. It was good to see you last week. Thanks for stopping by. I am about to try your coffee, so I think it's tomorrow. I'm just about to finish my bag, so your coffee is going to go next. So I'm going to share my thoughts on it with you later. Hello, Tadia from Montreal. Hello, David Moscora. Good to see you. So I guess how was your trip to Alaska? Let me know. Hello, John. From North Yorkshire, we got Raimo, Jakub, Ray, Terence, Joe Vlogs, Richard Hovland, Jean St. Louis, Joe Vlogs, Colin Brahma, J. Rod, Photo Art, Martin, Eves, hello Eves, long time, Colin Murphy, everyone is here. Thank you, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Dave Thompson, All High Angler, Michael Reed. Wow, the chat is buzzing. So, Coffee Fund is open. I'm going to have a coffee with you because, as usual, it's busy morning at Grace. So, there's lots of things to go through. We are excited about new releases from Nikon. Tamron 50-400 lens is scheduled to be launched very soon, the one you know of. Tamron is running sale of their Z lenses, so if you're looking at something like 7300 or some other Tamron lenses, there's a discount to be had there as well. But let's start, I guess, with 50 because that's the main announcement. And it's remember last week when I said, so they released 35-1.4. Are they going to release 51.4? Are they going to release H5 1.4? So I want to know from you because it does look like that's what Nikon is going to do, And if you look, if for some of you who were watching us for the last 2-3 years, when 51.2s and 51.8s came out, I was the one who was saying to you that what's up with 1.4? And people say, no, 1.8 is as good as 1.4. And I said, no, 1.4 is 1.4. It's not it's not like I told you so, but it's just very interesting that those 51.8s comes out first and 1.2s, and now we're going to see 1.4s. I personally hope that 85 1.4 comes out because while 85 1.2 is fantastic lens and it's on my purchase list, I personally think that 85 1.4 probably will do for my work pretty well. I don't need the size and ultimate optical performance in my work. I like a bit of character, and as long as the image is good, what kind of a lot of non-photographers will tell you that they have no idea if you shot a picture with 24-50 or let's say 50 0.95 lens, if you see what I mean. So obviously there's a character and magic that happens behind it in rendering, but if you know what I mean, then people not in the know, they don't really care if it's shot on iPhone as long as it looks good, if you see what I mean. And my wife will never like the pictures I like of her, but she likes the pictures that I don't particularly like of her, that I've taken. So that's the thing. So everyone is different. So let's go through the chat. Audio and video is 5 out of 5. That's a good review on a Trustpilot or TripAdvisor, you name it. So let's have a look. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Oatly. I don't need another lens, says user. I don't need another lens. So what about 51.4? Yay or nay? Let me know in the comments below, though. So thank you for confirmation. Colin Murphy, love his 1.Fs already. So how many 1.4s, sorry, 1.Fs. 1.4s do you already have? So speaking of which, it's a fifth 50 just from Nikon, So we've got 50.95, 51.2, 51.8, 51.4, and the fifth one is 50 macro MC. So still 50. So that's good to know. So it seems like Nikon love their 50s. And yes, speaking of 1.4s, that's, I think, the reason why Sigma is being quiet with their art releases, if you see what I mean. So, nothing on the horizon from Sigma. It seems like they knew that this was going to happen. That's my theory, if you see what I mean. So, but yeah. Now, kind of all those gaps have been fulfilled. Do you think Nikon will release 85 1.4? Let me know in the comments below. So all sound is all good. Thank you very much. J Blue has a question for me, and he says, when do you expect to have a review of the new 51.4? Well, we've just filmed a review of 35 1.4, so realistically speaking, maybe give us a couple of months. That's the thing. To be honest with you, we kind of passed that moment where we were cutting edge of the Nikon latest and greatest news, if you see what I mean. We are kind of, you know, at this moment, a touring band in the 60s, if you see what I mean. But unfortunately, it's just our schedule, me and Becky's, are very different. I can't have Becky on top, if you see what I mean, on demand. So we really have like maybe, like if you film once a month, that's a good thing. If you have filmed 2 times a month, and that's normally happens on weekends, that's extraordinary. So we try to give you as much videos as we possibly can. Publish the video on Cobor. I have a ZFC video scheduled coming out soon. There's another one from the archives that was filmed in spring that we haven't released yet. So working on those. But technically, if Nikon sends me 51.4 tomorrow, then we definitely film it on the next filming day. But at the moment, I know that for the next filming day, we have 50 to 400 Tamron. We've got an interesting lens from TT Artisans there. We may have a lens from Pergear. As far as I know, it's on the way. We want to review Novo Flex bellows, so that's also now kind of shooting planning list, if you see what I mean. But yes, technically 51.4 is the one we want to film as soon as, personally, you know, so that's what I can tell you. But hopefully once, I think it will be available by the end of the month, we will definitely have a demo in the store. So once demo arrives, we actually, you know, I just may take it with me and we just film it for, you know, over the weekend. But I'm definitely can share a little bit more my opinions on this lens. And I will share with you now what I think about those lenses as well. But let me go through your comments again. Let's see. Thank you very much, Jean St. Louis. He says, good morning. Thank you very much, J Blue, for your coffee today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Give us a like. That always helps the channel. That pushes our stats up. It introduces the live stream to a lot more people. There's a lot more people than just you in the chat who like Nikon equipment. So trust me. And you're gonna do a service for those people because they don't know that we exist and they will find us. I can tell you that much. Rick Getty says, Con, give me an honest opinions. I really want to know what you think. About what? Rick, sorry, I'm kind of picking and choosing what I'm reading here, so I can't really follow the chat. But if you can tell me opinion about what, then I will definitely let you know, Rick. Absolutely. Let's see. So, hello, Day Walk says, greetings from beautiful sunny Chelmsford. Fantastic. Summer has passed. Indeed, it passed. Yeah, I'm still hoping for the last couple of days, but, you know, like warm days. But yes, autumn is definitely approaching us. So hopefully a part of the dull gray, you know, grainy days and rainy days, you know, hopefully we'll get some nice, beautiful colors, autumn colors. And I'm definitely looking forward to try this 51.4. Now, 51.4, which I want to talk about, and I will as soon as I read more of your comments. Albert is asking, did Nikon give up on the 35 1.2? I don't think they give up, at least from the indication that I'm getting from my sources. You know, the uncle who works at Nikon, he also works at Nintendo. But from what I know, it's still in production. You know, on a let's say, you know, they're still working on it. So, you know, that's as far as, you know, as I said, like from what I read, you know, from what I've heard, it was there and then it disappeared. That's from what I know. So something's up. What's up? I don't know. So let's see. Let's go. Let's see. So David says Alaska was great. Glad I took the D850 because I got my whale jumping shot, fantastic, and 46 megapixel helps. Absolutely. And, you know, 46, 45 megapixels give you good cropping capabilities. Joe Vlog says, I like my 51.4D, thinking about upgrading to the G, but love the lens as is. Well, Good news, 51.4G is cheap, secondhand, good lens, I think 51.4D is nice. My thing that what I don't like about the current lenses, so this is 35-1.8 and 50-1.8 is going to look the same. 51.4 is going to look the same, those are chunky lenses. I like my lenses small and light, if you see what I mean. So I personally think that if you're looking at 51.4D or even 1.4G, which has built-in autofocus motor, so they're still fairly small. And, my personal gripe with all those releases is they're quite large. And they look nice on modern cameras. On camera like ZF, I would prefer smaller lens personally. So that's kind of my opinion on that. Older higher angler says 51.8 is my only S-line lens. Unlikely I will get 51.4. However, 85-1.4 would be definitely get my attention. Yes, and the thing is the price as well. Like all those 51.4s are kind of positioned below 1.8s. Judging by 35-1.4 versus 35-1.8, and just looking at what's out on the internet about 51.4, I personally, at least from experience on 35-1.4, I don't really see the reason of people buying 35-1.8 right now. That's my opinion about this. Again, I personally, in my opinion, as soon as the 1.4 is out, 1.8 line is going to be obsolete. It's going to be cheap as chips on resellers' websites. That's kind of my controversial opinion. And while S lenses 1.8s are technically better, if 1.4 is almost as good, and in case of 35-1.4 and 35-1.8, they're very close in terms of performance. And 1.4 has a little bit more character. Still Nikon, like nothing too characteristic, but a little bit more character, a little bit, more shallow depth field. I would get 1.4 lens any day. That's my opinion on this one. So, I personally think that, while 1.8 is, yes, it's S-line, it's optically, in terms of photography, I'm on a kind of a level in my life where I don't care for the latest and greatest, if you see what I mean. I like the image. I start to like image more. I personally think that chromatic aberrations, purple fringing, vignetting, realistically for photography, for people, for real people, especially for people who don't know much photography, let's say, or don't use cameras, it's realistically, it's not an issue at all. It's in our heads as photographers, if you see what I mean. Yes, we get obsessed about this extra 1% of the performance, but realistically speaking, I personally think that, 35-1.4, amazing lens for the money. 51.4 is going to be amazing, from what I've seen online at this moment, at the samples, and obviously have a look at Matt Irvin's video, so, rendering is very good. That's kind of my opinion about this. John Hughes is asking a question. Will the 1.4 be S-line, and does it matter? I have seen the 1.2 are better. I guess, John, with my rant just 30 seconds ago, I think I've answered your question. I don't think it's that important. And yes, for some of you, 1.250 is probably the answer. And it's, if it's your bread and butter, if you're a commercial photographer, use them as tools. You should be absolutely fine getting 51.2 and not using any other lenses. Now, if you're a hobbyist, enthusiast, and very keen photographer, you probably will think about the 1.4, 1.8 versions. You will look at those 100% zoom ins and, those comparisons and things like this, and you'll make a decision for yourself. For me personally, I would get 1.4 any day. Obviously, I would want to test 51.4 before selling this, but just between the 235s, 1.4, it's amazing. For the money, it's great. So J Road Photo R says, I want the 51.4. I have the 50 macro lens, f2.8, but this one has a little more light. Yeah, they're very different lenses. That's the thing. Macro lenses are good, but again, I think they're different purposes for those. But 50 is nice and compact, which I like about it. So again, if you're shooting, let's say, stop down, it's not an issue, but you buy 1.4 for the 1.4, isn't it? So, or, anything up to f2, just to give you a nice depth of field. I don't need another lens, as I too just got 51.4 AFD for my ZF, and I like it a lot. Yes, 51.4D is very nice lens. All the Ds, the AFDs and non-AFDs lenses are very good. Obviously, the only issue with them on Nikon cameras is because they don't have built-in autofocus motor, they become manual focus lenses, and that's why there's a gripe in the community saying, "Oh, I want FTZ3 that can drive those lenses, with built-in motor itself." But I agree, those D lenses are very, very good lenses. Absolutely, if you are on a budget, those are fantastic character lenses with a kind of. I personally think, if you don't look at if you don't pixel peep, it's a very good lens, especially on the budget at the moment. So all the high angle says 51.4 isn't an S-line lens. Does it make a difference to you? All the high angle. This is the question. Does this S is some sort of seal of quality or something? Does it mean that non-S lens is by default is a rubbish lens? You see, that's the conversation I want to have, and I want to ask your opinions about this in the chat. So Craig says, is there any good reason to get a 51.4 if you have 51.8? For me, it's I'm set with the 51.8. However, I'm interested in 85.1.4 if it happens. I personally think that if you already have 51.8 lens, you don't really need 51.8 lens. You don't need 1.4. If you buy a lens now, that's where you would try to pick and choose which one would you prefer. But if you have one lens already, no, I wouldn't upgrade, your 51.8 to 1.4. There's no need, and your 51.8 technically should be optically better. Joe Vlog says, I wonder if Sigma aren't releasing the Z51.4 because they're too busy making Nikon branded ones. Interesting. Yes, interesting. So it's one of those conspiracy theories we can definitely add to our list. I don't know. That's the question. But it was quite easy to spot the 2875 Nikon one and see that it's based on Tamron designs. So I'm sure that our internet detectives can look at at Sigma 50s and see if the optical design compares to anything what they have. And if that's the case, then I'm sure we'll see it on the Nikon rooms at some point. So, but as far as I'm aware, there's nothing so far. But I haven't checked Nikon rooms in a while. Okay, so let's see. Jay Blue says, I believe we will see H5mm 1.4, 28 1.4, and 105 1.4. I would love to see those lenses as well. I think we need those. The more the merrier. And the good news is we already have 45 lenses for Nikon Z mount. That's a good kind of time to be alive, isn't it? I remember those days where me and Becky, we had a chat with you saying that, guys, things are going to happen. Just wait and see. And I think it was the time where everyone was waiting for Z6-2s and Z7s. And people say, what's focus is slow, they're not releasing anything, what's going to happen? And we had this therapy session with you where we shared our frustrations onto the internet. And, I think right now, if you see what they've done already with the Z8s, Z9s, ZFs, Z6 Mark III, I think, plus 45 lenses, I think it's a good time. And I'm sure that Nikon won't stop releasing lenses. I think it's just a matter of time. So yes, Rick, once I try your coffee, probably next week, definitely. So it looks like by the amount of coffee left in my jar, it looks like tomorrow morning, your coffee is going to go in. I'm going to take a couple of shots to dial it in on my grinder, but once there, then definitely I will definitely let you know. All right. Thank you very much, Randall. So he says the price and the smaller compact prime lenses are great. I have all of the Nikon glass, plus third party has helped my niche for DX and FX Nikon Z cameras for my content at a great price too. Cheers. Thank you, Randall, for your comment. I'm glad you're enjoying all the glass that's available, not just Nikon. And I think it's important to try other brands as well, just to kind of see where Nikon's at, if you see what I mean. So, Joe Vlog says, question, does anyone remember the olden days when Sigma Tamron and Takina lenses were super cheap and long quality, get you buy lenses? They make incredible lenses these days. Yes, the thing is people do remember those things. And the funny thing is people tend to put, like any Tamron or Sigma lens video we do, people still someone's going to comment, oh, Nikon, Sigma lenses are rubbish, or, Tamron lenses are rubbish. And that comes from that time. And yes, the quality has improved dramatically. I'm talking about build quality. Optical quality has improved as well quite significantly. So I think, yeah, we can kind of scrub that time. At least if you're looking at the current, let's say, Sigma and Tamron lineup, I'm not experienced with Takina, so I'm not 100% sure. So if you look at, like, for last 3 years of their releases, I think they were pretty spot on in terms of not just optical quality, but build quality and just quality control in general. Dirty Photography Club says, waiting for 28 1.4. The F version is fantastic, but something smaller needed. It's a Nikon lens we're talking about for that mouse. It's not going to be smaller, unfortunately. But if they can make it about the same size as this, that would be quite cool, I think. So as I say, Jay Blue says, Richie and Neil say the 35 1.2 is still coming. So speaking of which, did many of you attended the Neil and Richie's workshop that they did for Nikon magazine last Friday? So tell me, how was it? What else? Did they spill the beans on anything that's coming soon? Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of Nikon magazine, that issue that I showed you, what's called proof reissue, it's now being printed, and I think from next week it will start to go out to Nikon subscribers. So if you're a subscriber, you will get it either in physical form or PDF issue, so if you are a digital subscriber. So here you go. So, and for some of you who want to subscribe to Nikon magazine, there's links in the comments under this video, so there's a code from me, so you can do that if you want to. So, all right, more questions. Okay, so Host Meto says, question, hi Akon, do you think these new LUTs will be available in camera or just in the post? If you only post what the point is, since we can apply any LUT in post. So as far as I'm aware, that they are available in the post. If you use external monitors that allow LUTs, like let's say Ninja 5, that's what I have, and you can install LUTs in there, so you can actually preview what you're getting. So that's quite cool. Now, it's something we're going to talk about later, but it's one of the things that's, if the way we tend to film is actually we want to shoot flat. Yeah, we want to shoot and log or something like this, and then apply LUTs, and that's the kind of the idea behind that. I know it's not really like photographers don't know about this, but in the videography side of things, this is very common. So so that's the thing. You really need to see LUTs, how the image is going to look like while you're filming. Is really kind of unless you're a director, as you say, you have a rigged out camera with a monitor, or let's say you have a client and you can see them what the image is going to look like. But realistically speaking, the kind of post-grade is a very common thing. And all those LUTs, LUTs are lookup tables, yeah, so, or effectively picture profiles, if for Nikon users, we describe that. The idea behind it is it's a starting point anyway. And I really like what actually Nikon did there, because I like this what's called like the film ones, and obviously black and white is all right, but but the film ones are quite good. I really enjoy that. So again, for more examples, go see Matt Irvin's video. I think it's pretty good. It sums up things and just gives you samples of those what those LUTs do. Definitely have a look at those. All right, so let me have a first sip of coffee, actually. So Frank is still waiting for the 3512. Okay, let's wait together. Absolutely. Andy says 51.4 is not S-line lens, so it has less controls and maybe less sharp or slow focus. Adding a cheaper 1.4 must have been done for a reason. Tamron's reason or Penguin Z50 Mark II? That's the thing. Let's go to Nikon rumors. I don't know, guys. You keep saying Sigma or Tamron. I don't really see that, but nothing is on Nikon rumors as far as I can see. So that's a no, I guess. So I think the idea is to bring the cheaper line. My theory behind this, Andy, is that Nikon, with their first lenses, they want to release a statement of saying that we're not just releasing mirrorless cameras, is that our larger mount, and remember Z mount is a big step for Nikon from F mount. F mount didn't change for many, many years. So I think the idea was there is to say that because we have such large mount, it allows for us to release the lenses that are almost technically perfect. So that's my thinking. And it was a statement from the point of saying it's a serious system with a cutting edge glass. What we, and then we obviously had 1.2s, yada. So 1.4, now we're in a season where Nikon says, well, now we're going to fill the gaps. We're going to give you cheap options, which are maybe optically are not as good, but almost as good. And again, this 1.2% of performance, that's where you pay the top dollar, isn't it? As with everything, with hi-fi systems, you name it, with everything like coffee machines. You can get a very capable coffee machine, let's say dual boiler for like, let's say £1,500. Still a lot for, for coffee machine, but then you can buy a machine for £4,000 or £5,000 and, stability and other things that's generally for home use probably not a big issue is going to make a lot of difference. That's where you pay premium for. I think that's the kind of very similar analogy in my opinion. So, but I don't think that's, that's effectively it's someone else is manufacturing them. Obviously, we'll see if something, as I say, you guys are internet detectives. You find out, and we can discuss it all. So that's the thing. But as you saw with the Nikon 2875 release, which was the first in the line of that cheaper Trinity, people could clearly see the similarities in optical designs with Tamron designs, and that's how it we all understood that it's based on Tamron design, and it is what it is. But the housing was Nikon's. That's the thing. David says, I love my 58 1.4 wide lens. It's a brilliant lens. I agree with you. Full of character. Really love it. Really love the way the sun flare goes in there as well. Again, on my list to purchase. Need to get too many lenses, and that's the problem with I've been really envy of you user. I don't need another lens because I always need another lens, unfortunately. Hello Nick. Okay, so Joe Locke says, I like natural lens vignettes, but I'm always quick to fix color fringing. Yeah, that's fine, but that's my point of the color fringing is that we as photographers, we will look for this. Normal people won't look for that. That's kind of the normies, so that's the thing. But it's with everything, isn't it? So, you have a, several thousands of pounds hi-fi system or tens of thousands of pounds hi-fi systems. And people who are not used to that, they'll say, oh yeah, look, sounds fine. Yeah, my iPhone, AirPods sound about the same. That's kind of the idea behind it, the logic. But we know. All right. Michael Reed says, will Nikon ever issue a firmware update for animal eye detection for the D780? No, they won't. It's not the hardware that will allow for this. Sorry, Michael, that's a no from me. I mean, if Nikon release it, I'll be the first one to say, well, I'm pleasantly surprised. Tom Lawrence says, we need a Nikon 16mm f1.2. Okay, so that's going to be instead of short and stubby, big and stubby, but yeah, sounds good. Let's see. Colin Brum says, I don't think that f1.4 have the same level of weather sealings as 1.8. Perhaps haven't looked at it. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. Again, weather sealings, in my opinion, again, overrated. For people who need it, yes, but just general photographer, how often do you shoot in the rain? Like, if you do, be my guest. I shot with non-weather sealed lenses in the rain. Didn't soak it, obviously, had it under my jacket, but took an occasional picture and it was fine. You see, again, there are different levels If you see what I mean, for like the level of weather sealings that we need now in cameras. Yes, if you're a photographer, let's say you photograph in Premier League, yeah, and you got big lenses and you're under the rain, you're still gonna have rain covers and everything. But I understand where for professional use, especially outdoors, it becomes, it becomes quite important. For everyone else, not so much. If you see what I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't weather seal lenses, but I'm saying that regular weather sealing over super, let's say, weather sealing, it's a big, like, gonna make a lot of difference for a lot of folk who use those lenses, if you see what I mean. Again, there are obviously exceptions. There's always 1% like who need the top performance. That's a given. But yeah, again, let's just think about that. All right, so let's see. Robert White says hello from Portugal. I have 4 lenses, so AI lenses, 28, 36, 72, 135, 72, 10, and they give awesome images, and they're easy to focus on D10. Here you have it, folks. All right. Neuron On's asking, do you think we get primes wider than 20 millimeter? Yes, when is the question, but I think we will get more primes in the wide angle side of things. Yeah, something like 14 mil, maybe 16 mil or something like this. We may get fisheye at some point, who knows? Pete Gazzola says he just checked on latest issue of Nikon magazine is available online now. Here we go. So that's out. So the printed one is going to be printed first. The printers are running, and it's going to take a few days for them to ship everything. Deborah says, hello, Deborah says, Neil and Richie's stream was very good. They said the 35 1.2 is coming, but that's all they revealed. Here you go. If it comes from Neil and Richie, you can be 100% sure that something is coming. If I say it, that's like, take it with a pinch of salt. But when Neil and Richie speak, then, I'll take it as a good sign, a firm belief that the thing will happen. Craig C says, I'm pretty sure my next lens will be the Tamron 5400 lens. Very impressive results for the range. So I have the pre-production model now. So I am going to be testing this weekend. So don't think they'll let me to Crystal Palace game with this lens. But I will take a few shots outside for sure. Give this stream like, you know what to do. Press that button. That's appreciated as usual. Okay, looking further down the comments. Okay, thank Jen St. Louis. I appreciate it. Yes, as usual, it just helps the channel. It's as simple as that. I don't need another lens. I love your nickname, man. So, a woman. Whoever you are. He says, yeah, Korn, my name is Ironic. I have a lot of gas. Aren't we all? Speaking of 50, I recently acquired a Voigtlander 50mm f2.2 for Leica mount, which will go on my film rangefinder, as well as Nikon ZF via adapter. And it's a tiny little lens, 52.2. You get Voigtlander vignetting. You know what Voigtlander vignetting is like. It's like, that's the sense of the image, right? But it's tiny. It's optically amazing. My question to Voigtlander or Nikon, why can't we have such small lenses for our Z, why won't we have that lenses, and why do they need to look like 28 and 40? Make them look nicer, make them look metal, that's another thing, My personal, not vendetta, but my personal wish list, I can tell you that, but that 50 is beautiful. So it's my, third day owning it. I did some tests and it's, I really enjoy it. There's a 53.5, I think, cuppa they're releasing as well, which is quite interesting. Hello, Selective Imagery. Don't worry, no one is late on this live stream, not even me. Okay, so Daywalk says, camera may function in the rain, but I won't. Same with extremes of temperature. That's the thing. It's, as I say, some of you will need that. How many of you will need that? I think it's a small percentage from the rest of you who like to have that idea that his equipment is weather sealed. And again, they're all weather sealed to a degree. So obviously more professional products will be weather sealed better. But if you see what I mean, yeah. So there's people who want it and people like to have it, and I think those are two different things. That's the thing. But I'm sure, as with everything that is, people don't agree, like, you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. I understand this. But you're paying top dollar for, if I'm paying top dollar for top glass, for the top performance, I want it to be weather sealed. I want it to perform, amazingly well. Like 85 1.2. If I'm paying $2,000 for 85mm lens, yeah, I want it to be the best in its class. There's no problem. And it's, I'm glad it is. Okay, so let's see. So I don't need another lens. Says dust is more of a problem than the rain. I will shoot with umbrella or not at all. Here we go. They have now the umbrella hats. Have a look. AliExpress. I'm gonna order one for Becky for Christmas for sure. Okay, so let's see. Hello, Gary. So I'm sure all the things we are waiting for will come in the next few years, says Dave. Matt R says, what about lenses with aperture rings for the dev shooters? That's what I'm saying. We need that line of lenses, So with aperture rings, just make it authentic experience to the best possible, Why not? And that's the thing. We are, I think, in the stage now where we have a really good lineup. So I think like when Nikon starts with 1.4 release, it looks like they kind of fill in those little gaps. Then they want like massive gaps, but they fill in them. But of course, there's more lenses we want to see, as you say, wide angle prime lenses. We want to see 200 macro. Some people want to see 300, 500mm lenses, tilt and shift control, lenses, all sorts of things. They still, there's a lot of Nikon that can release, and fisheye, as we said before. So, and again, David says, yeah, FTZ adapters that we discussed. We wish we would have a FTZ adapter with a motor to drive them all. That's true. All right, so let's see. So Andy is raising the question about Nikon sex support. There's a lot of it going to Sweden. Not just Sweden, Andy. There's some stuff that goes to Poland as well, as far as I'm aware. So it's the main hub is in Netherlands. So the way Nikon operates is the European headquarters controlling Nikon UK. So Nikon UK, is under the European headquarters, and that's what to do with all the logistics and the way the stock arrives and the way the repairs are being, going to different places, yada yada. So yeah, I agree. It's not ideal. I absolutely agree with you. All right. So John Hughes says, yes, the Nikon Z lenses are big, but new Hasselblad X lenses are small, and they're all weather sealed and work very well with 100 megapixel cameras. Agreed, and they're all very expensive as well. But yes, when Hasselblad releases something, they make sure that, but again, it's a luxury brand. It's a good cameras and good lenses, but it's a luxury brand, and you're paying the premium for it. The same with Leicas. It's a luxury brand. Have you seen M11D? Who is buying M11D? I want to see people in the comments below. I mean, looks good, but 8,100 pounds. Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, I like rangefinders. I don't like them to pay 8,100 pounds, but I'm not their customer, I think, So that's the thing. But yes, Hasselblad. I know at least a few people shooting with Hasselblad, and they swear by them, so overall, yes, it's fantastic, but you are paying premium for that. So now we can all say that obviously they're manufactured in Sweden, and it's manufactured either in Germany or Portugal, and you're paying the wages. I understand this, but it's still a luxury brand, so that's my opinion about this. But there's a following behind that. That's the thing. So if you're complaining at Nikon prices, then as I say, there's definitely levels of how high you can go on this. That's for sure. All right. Sorry, Andy. I'm going through questions quickly, but if I didn't understand, that's fine. I'm sorry about that. All right. Peter suggests to buy Voigtland if you need aperture rings. Fair enough. But we kind of have aperture rings, like let's say 51.4 and 35.14 has those aperture rings. They're not clicky. They're basically function rings, which you can assign to aperture, but it's not exactly the same feel as on old-fashioned Nikon lenses or let's say Voigtland lenses. That's for sure. All right, so let's see. So Selective Images says, I don't buy third-party lenses, but Ultra Lab knock Nikon 50mm f1.2 on pre-order. Figure I'll try it on my ZF. Well, share your opinion about it when you have it. That's for sure. That's for sure. Let's see more comments there. So yeah, Hasselblad lenses are expensive, I agree. Joe Vlogs is asking, did Nikon miss a trick with the ZF by not offering a split focusing screen EVF option? Could they do it with the firmware? It's a tricky one. I understand what you're saying, but the idea, obviously, yeah, if you look at traditional SLR design or DSLR design, we need to have mirror at the front, and that adds space, right? So that's that. Technically, the only rangefinder style cameras Nikon had was Nikon S. So it was some time ago, yeah, quite a while ago. So I'm sure they looked into idea of design of X Pro series cameras and X100, but again, it's a kind of rangefinder style design, but it's not a rangefinder, of course, because you use autofocus instead of that little patch moving in the middle. So so I think it's technically would be quite difficult to achieve. So they may looked at it, they may not, but. It's, yeah, I see what you mean. And then split focusing screen EVF as well. I think the split focusing screen would be quite easy to implement software-wise as well. So, so I think that can potentially come. I definitely like the idea of having 100% zoom. That's what I have on my ZF when I use Voigtlander lenses. The Leica mount on the Z adapter. Have my OK buttons 100%, so I can quickly zoom, focus, then quickly zoom in to confirm and take shot, so that's that. But I see what you mean, yes. Anything software, I think, is quite possible. That's the thing, I agree. So all the high angle says, to answer your question, if I didn't already own 51.8, I would definitely look very close at 51.4. That lens is S-line and isn't the most important feature to me. Yeah, that's the thing. So as I agree with you, so yeah, if you got a 51.8 now, I don't think there's a reason for you to need to upgrade it to 1.4. That's for sure. I personally think that, yeah, if you buy one now and then you don't have any 50s, that's where you can see if you can get some decisions, like would you prefer 51.4 or 1.8, or vice versa. So here you go. So David Muscori is asking, Con, what's your next photo adventure? I think I'm done for this year, to be honest with you. There's a big project I'm working on. I told you about that one. So that is exciting. We are building a big thing. And tomorrow I'm going to pick up 2 massive scanners. So industry scanners for that project. So I am very excited about this. So it's becoming bigger and bigger. Photography wise, I always carry my camera for some street photography. That's that. But no trips planned for the rest of the year. It's gearing up to be a busy end of the year with all the sales. One of my lights just failed on me, and that's fun. So yeah, but for next year, there's quite a few plans. So we still deciding on what we're gonna do next. But we did quite a few trips in the short span of time. That's for sure. All right. So all the high angle says my dream lens is 1H600, not S-line. 1H600 is a good lens though. It's a really good lens. Let's see. Again, Mike, yeah, if you got 1.8, go for it. You don't need to definitely to get 51.4. So it's definitely not aimed at you, for sure. So Joe Locke says, regarding the GAS, gear acquisition syndrome, I'm currently waiting for Nikon 800mm 2.8 as my next purchase. My equivalent of freezing credit cards in blocks of ice. Yeah, I think the concept is if you attach the wheels to this 800mm 2.8, you can just drive it, really. So that's the thing. You just need a steering wheel as well. All right. So let's see more of your comments. Will Nikon ever do crazy thing and make a high quality rangefinder camera? Well, we had a visit from Nikon Japan, and when they asked what what camera do you want, or what next product do you want? I said we want a digital rangefinder, or we want FM4A. So I've done my part. Hopefully it goes somewhere. And if one day we'll see it, I'll be happy, because I will think that I've done my part there. There's a bit of me in that release, if you see what I mean. Champagne Suma says, I want to get another planner. It's a very good lens. Let's have a just kind of a poll on there. So 51Z 51.4. Yay or nay? And tell me, do you think it's a good release? Do you think, are you going to order one? Or you think it was pointless? I mean, I don't think we expected this lens, that's for sure. Let's see. Well, so far it's 50-50. It's quite polarizing. Very interesting. Live stream is not buffering. Yeah, that's a good thing. I don't know. I complained a lot. So trust me. I complained and complained and complained. And so far, it's working. But every now and then, I'm thinking, well, today is Friday the 13th, right? What can go wrong? But we're not buffering. That's the thing. But my light just failed. So here you have it, folks. So one light has failed. So we're in more cozy atmosphere now. There's a bit of mood light going on now. Pompey says, hi, I need some more information about Nikon 5814G with Voigtlander 58. Very different lenses. Voigtlander 58 is autofocus. It has more character, so more flare because coatings are not that modern. So Nikon 5814G, it's probably would be the lens with the most character from the Nikon AFS lineup. It's got beautiful skin rendition. It's got autofocus. It is bigger though, but it is a very nice lens. Both are very good, but they produce different imaging. So I would say if Nikon 58 is more pastel, kind of more muted, low contrast colors, but beautiful skin tones, Voigtlander is more punchy. And yeah, if you got on the bright side there, you get lots of flare and things like this. And bokeh is quite characteristic as well. Definitely more character over one. So here you go. Friends don't let friends buy Leica, says Champagne Suma. Expensive, but beautiful cameras. I'm using my Leica M4P and I love it. It's fantastic film camera. There's something about it, the winder, just the feel, and that's why I want to buy now Nikon S3. That's again on my to buy list eventually. David Mascor says, what would you want from Nikon FM4A? Well, I want a brand new film camera from Nikon more than anything else. We've recently seen Pentax 17 release half-frame camera. Okay, so manual focus. So not for everyone, but really good uptake on the internet. Good sales as far as I know. Rollei 35AF is on pre-order now, so the pre-orders opened up this week. And it's made by Mint Camera. They used to redo the SX70 and things like this. So it autofocus. It costs I think about $800. So it seems like people are pre-ordering those things. So why do I want a brand new film camera from Nikon? Because a part of them creating a new camera, it will also open availability and servicing, availability of the parts and servicing of the camera. So that's part of the kind of infrastructure that's created about a new product release that is new for Nikon, because Nikon doesn't make any film cameras nowadays. So that's kind of my opinion about this. So that's the reason I want FM4A. It could be FM3A reissue. In terms of features, FM3A to me is a perfect camera, if you see what I mean. So in terms of this, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna end the poll because we are split at 50-50 on the poll. And actually, the poll now shows 48 and 51. So 51% of you don't want 51.4, and it's understandable, but 48% are quite positive. So here you have it, quite a split opinion about that. Let's have a look. So yes, Dave has got 51.8. He's not going to buy 51.4. Fair enough. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. Joe Vlog says, I'm yay, but I'm still on F mount, so my vote doesn't really count. Well, no, I think if I'm not asking would you buy one. I'm thinking like, are you happy that it's there? That's more than anything else, I think. So Albert says, Nikon did not make good 1.4 lenses. 51.8 Japan Pancake and F mount and Carry Z 51.8 are excellent. I disagree with you, Albert. I think Nikon made fantastic 51.4s, but 1.8s are also very good. So so we agree to disagree on this one and agree on some things as well. Joey says, my photography buddy bought a Leica Q2M. M is a monochrome, right? So I do very much love it from afar. I've never been excited about Leica Q system at all. I think for $5,000 or whatever it costs in UK and United States, you can buy a proper M body, maybe secondhand, and then you can put any lens you like on it, and the lenses are fantastic. That's the thing. You gotta love the 28mm to buy like a Q, and a lot of people buying this not realizing that 28mm is not the lens for them, and they may prefer 35 or something longer. That's the thing. But again, beautifully made camera. Leica points and shoots, and the Q series never interested me personally. Yeah, or SL series. Like if you look at Leica SL, for me personally, I think Nikon has a much better system at definitely more competitive price than Leica. That's kind of my opinion about this. But where Leica is, it's Leica M for me personally. Those are beautiful objects to hold, but also produce fantastic images. Ray Bryan says, M148, my wish would be a film camera that is Z mount, physically impossible. That's the thing. I think, as you say, we start to discuss the SLR design versus mirrorless. That's where the issue is. How you're going to see the images. So you're going to have electronic viewfinder, but then the image goes on a film. So it's not technically impossible. I just feel like I don't know. I think it will raise a lot of questions. And would want a camera that has that has electronic viewfinder but shoots film? Let me know in the comments below. It's an interesting one. I personally like my film cameras with optical viewfinders or rangefinders. So I think electronic viewfinder would be interesting, but not something I would want, but interesting. So David Muscori says, I'd take new rangefinder film camera with a better focus patch, and that's the reason why Leicas are better rangefinders in my opinion. Because they're focusing patches like Leica MP, M6, M4, those are the ones I tried, have amazing square focusing patches and very bright. So focusing is a breeze on those. Nikon focusing patches is a circle, fuzzy little thing in the middle, and it's not ideal, especially in a low light condition. So that's what I found, personally. And that's why I like Nikon rangefinders. They're beautifully made. And according to Nikon engineer, he said they're better made than Leica, but that's questionable, of course. Like rangefinder patch, it's kind of where Leica is superior in my opinion, because you can acquire focusing much faster and much quicker. So that's the thing. But S3 is still going to be one I'm going to buy, hopefully year 2000 edition, because they are slightly newer. It's as simple as that. Randall, thank you very much, Randall. I appreciate it. He has a question. If Nikon makes a new film camera, does full frame matter? Is the ASPC, APS-C more reasonable because of the low price? This is my answer. This is 120 Phoenix. And I don't want to say size matter. That's what the Phoenix kind of Harman started their advertisement campaign with this. But I like my medium format cameras. I'm glad that half frame cameras exist. I'm glad they exist. For me personally, it has to be 35mm at least. It's for me, definitely a deal breaker for this. But I respect that half frame cameras exist. That's the thing. Not for me. not for me. Let's see. So yeah, Cyrus says it's all about flange distance again. Yeah, that's that refers to Z film camera, mirrorless film camera. Randall says, like a M11D reminds me of closest to a film experience using digital, but with no LCD on the back and use rangefinder only. Yeah, like the argument there is obviously, well, you don't need to have the screen on your standard Leica M11 or any other Leica. Now, what's interesting to me that Leica M10D was, first of all, they didn't produce many. It was sold out instantly, and then it was secondhand was going for higher than was brand new. But what's interesting about that Leica M10 is that they had the fake winder, which was film winder, and they don't have it on the M11D. You know, so looking at the Leica forums for some people is a deal breaker situation, you know, so that's the thing. But the question is why a camera without the LCD screen costs more than the same camera with, like, let's say M11P, the same camera with a screen. That's Leica magic to me. That's the thing. But as I say, like, one thing, I like Leica equipment. I don't think I'm on the price bracket, like on earning bracket, to afford those cameras brand new. That's for sure. And marketing, luxury goods. That's the thing. So Joe Vlog says, I'm generally past film since 2004 and all my money goes to diesel to get to photo locations. Not electric, no, go digital then electric as well. I could not have this hobby if had the rolling cost of these days. Well, Joe, we had the discussion before, and I think that if you buy, here's the simple example, yeah, so how much did you spend on your digital equipment more than anything else? This is a very interesting argument to have, because obviously, you know, a lot of people can get equipment, film equipment, reasonably inexpensive. Obviously, it would be secondhand. So then they spend on film. So overall, yes, you will spend on film, but your film equipment, unless you go obviously like Leicas or you go Mamiya Mamiya 7s and stuff, but you can get fairly inexpensive equipment and shoot with it. You know, the experience of having film camera in terms of, you know, will depend on the lenses you use with it, not the camera itself. While when you buy a digital camera, you buy a sensor as well, and that's a big difference there. So cameras from, let's say, 10 years ago, digital cameras may not perform, you know, image quality-wise as good as current cameras, and that's where we start to see it. I mean, if you look at the last 5 years, probably not. I think we've reached that saturation quality, and you know, I think the more like we'll start to see it is the high, not high dynamic range, more stops on the sensor. So you saw Canon just released their video cine camera with the 16 stops of dynamic range. So, you know, I think that's where we'll start to see an improvement on digital cameras now, because as we all agreed last week, I think that resolution is good enough. So people would prefer a more stops of dynamic range on their sensors from now on. And I assume better low light performance as well. Let's see. We always end up with a film talk, you know, which is good. I enjoy. All right. Nikon film cameras with Z mount. Yes, I'm definitely up for it. So Paul P says, Con, a rangefinder film camera with Z mount could have a video viewfinder over the Z mount. So that's my question is, would you be okay by having EVF on your camera while your camera shoots film? That's the thing. For me, it sounds really weird. That's the thing. Would you be open to that idea? That's the question, you know. But no one's done it before, so it could be an interesting, you know, solution. Because yes, obviously Z mount is designed around mirrorless, so it's a very distance, so it's not a SLR design, if you see what I mean. So if you want to keep existing lenses, the only way to have a viewfinder is electronic viewfinder. That's the thing. Those lenses are focused by wire, so again, you can't really do a rangefinder that, you know, because, well, that focusing ring is not really, you know, it's focused by wire, as we call it. So, you know, so I don't think it's going to be as precise to, you know, to feel a proper manual focus lens, if you see what I mean. All right. So, Cyrus says, please have a show on adapting all manual focus lenses to new full-frame mirrorless. It's a bridge to creativity. Well, look, this is what I enjoy. I like my ZF. So I have 24 to 72.8 lens. This is kind of my commercial lens. And yeah, if I need to shoot commercial work, I'll take a Z8 and I'll shoot with it. But my ZF primarily is the lens that has the camera that has adapted lenses on it. So I got my 28 Pancake, Nikon one, autofocus. The rest is variety of different glass. Like I have Helios, mounted via adapter. I've got a bunch of Voigtlander for Leica mount that I use on this camera, and it performs really well. That's what I like my ZF for, and feels the camera fairly compact as well. So I like those things on my Nikon ZF. So definitely, I'm enjoying trying different glass from the past. Because before I was always going to grow latest and greatest, but I now kind of look into the back and see what was available. Because it's so easy to disregard, because new stuff is so much better, isn't it? So, but there's so much interesting things happening from different manufacturers. Minolta has fantastic lenses. Canon has some fantastic lenses. Obviously, variety of Nikons and, you name it. So, but yeah, it's maybe it's a separate show from this one, because I know that it's probably not going to get as many views as something based on the latest news, but we'll think about it. We're all great photographers, Joe. So that's the thing. It's, to me personally, is you can shoot whatever you want, and as long as you're enjoying photography, I think that's the best thing. As long as we all enjoy, it doesn't matter what equipment we use. Maybe we use disposable cameras, like a lot of young kids nowadays. To using Z9 with 800mm lenses. The spectrum of photography is so huge that everyone is different, but as long as we enjoy taking photographs, as long as we enjoy the process of taking pictures, I think that's the most important thing. The rest, talking about specification and technical aspects, it's all noise. That's the thing. But as long as we learn and we improve it, we enjoy while doing this, I think that's the most important thing. And on this kind of message, I think we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. It's been a blast. It's been a pleasure. It's always good to see you all in the chat. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Go take some pictures. Goodbye. Cheers.